Yo, what's good, fam? So, I just got a little bit of a haircut. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are having a great day. I wanted to hop on here and just talk about the importance of doing good business for people, with people, and the importance of always being blunt, straightforward, not beating around the bush. It's just so important when it comes to business. I mean, I have so many connections now that, if I didn't nurture those connections correctly back in 2018, 2019, 2020, I wouldn't have those connections now. And these connections have led to, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's really, really important to do good business with people. There's a lot of people out there that are slimy. There's a lot of people out there that, they just don't do good business with people, right? And I've dealt with it time and time again. More times than not, you're gonna find people that aren't trying to see you win, right? They want to see you win, but they don't want to see you do better than them, and it's very, very surprising. Well, I guess it's not really too surprising. There's just a lot of haters in this world, but people want to see you do good. They just don't want to see you do better than them, right? The second that they see you making more money than them, doing better than them, talking your shit, they feel some type of way. You could just see it in how they react. You could just see it in how they, start acting towards you in a way. It's very rare to find good business relationships and just friends in general, guys. It's so rare, right? I was thinking about this the other day, just with like friendships and stuff. I have a good group of friends, but like I really don't have like a bunch of friends. Like, I'm a very friendly person. I think I can make friends with a lot of people, but I also don't like to be around people who are fake. I don't like to be around people who are fake, who talk shit about other people, and are just not on that type of timing. It's very rare. And I was just thinking about this because I'm like, damn, like, I wish I had a friend like me. You know what I mean? I wish I had someone like me to help them, to, work with them and, just be that positive reinforcement in the back end, and there's a lot of friends out there that they might just be your friends because, there's a cop literally staring at me, but they might just be your friends because they're in proximity to you, right? Just because you're in proximity with people, put my seatbelt on. Just because you guys are in proximity with people does not mean that you should be friends with them. And that's what happens 9 times out of 10, right? You grow up, you're in the proximity of, certain people, and, those are the people that you just end up becoming friends with. You have to realize, like, if those friends aren't helping you, or like they're not bringing you up and they're constantly bringing you down, those aren't real friends. There's a quote that said that a close fake friend is worse than a faraway enemy, because at least the enemy, the enemies and whatnot, they know, right? That they're your enemy. That they don't want what's best for you. That they are not good people for you, etc. Right? But if you have a bad friend, but you don't know that they're a bad friend, and you're still hanging out with them and they're a fake friend, that's even worse, because you don't know that they're secretly, in a competition with you. They're secretly in a competition with you. They're secretly trying to, win against you. And it's ridiculous, right? So, guys, just because you're in proximity with people, I had to learn this. I feel like everyone had to learn this at some point or another. But just because you're in proximity with people does not mean that you should be friends with them, right? Just because you are around people doesn't mean that that should be your friend group. Like, guys, it's better to be alone. It's better to drink nothing than to drink poison, right? You shouldn't drink poison just because you are thirsty, right? You shouldn't hang around enemies just because you are lonely, right? You shouldn't hang around negative people and bad people and fake friends just because they are around you. Just because it's easy, just because you're bored, just because you're lonely, right? That's one thing that you have to understand, right? You have to get good at being alone, right? So this video is really more about, you know, friends, business, relationships, all that good stuff. I've already talked about, you know, how proximity matters, and, you know, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around. But, you know, this is kind of going more in detail. Like, friends are important, right? You're only really gonna have 2 or 3 really real friends, and then another dozen of like normal friends or whatever. That's better. It's better to have like 2 really solid friends or 1 really solid friend rather than, you know, 10-20 fake ones, or 10-20 that really wouldn't have your back when you need them to have your back, right? And when it comes to business, you want to do good business with people, you want to have good business relationships with people, but at the same time, you want to be able to also know that they have a good heart, and you want to know that you could actually be friends with them as well, right? A lot of the business relations, a lot of my good friends, like a lot of friends that I make now, they start with good business relationships, right? Obviously, I'm in the investing space, I'm in the entrepreneur space, and this is what I do, right? I don't really usually make friends just to make friends, right? But when I'm doing business with people, and I do good, and they do good business with me, that helps when it comes to me deciding, you know, to be a friend with them, to be friends with them. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes into business, right? If they can't do good business with you, they're probably a terrible friend. They probably cheat on their partner. You know, if they're cheating on you in business, they're probably cheating on their partner, or vice versa. If you know that they're cheating on their partner, or you know that they are slimy and they're backstabby and stuff like that, never do business with them. Never. It's terrible idea. Because if they're gonna cheat and backstab the closest people to them, their friends, their family, their partners, what makes you think that they're gonna do good business with you, some random person, and they're trying to get money? What makes you think that they're gonna do good business with you? I've had to learn this the hard way. I mean, you know, I've done bad business with people and still been friends with them. Not me, but I've had bad business done with me and still been friends with them. And sometimes it's just like, you know, we should just not do business together, right? That's more or less like the point, right? You just don't do business together. Sometimes you just shouldn't do business with people, right? But there's also been times where, you know, someone's done really bad business with me, and, you know, I took a look into their life and I realized why they did bad business with me, because they do bad business in their life, right? They have bad relationships, right? They cheat on their relationships, man. You know, and I'm not even gonna sit here and name names because I don't have time to gossip. I was thinking about doing videos. You know, maybe later on I'll do videos like talking about certain businesses and certain scams that have happened. But honestly, I just don't have time to be gossiping and doing all that shit. But there's been a lot of people who have lied straight to my face, scammed me, completely scammed other people that, you know, did business with me, with them. So a lot of people have scammed me, a lot of people have just done bad business with me, and I've had to learn, because I knew from the beginning, 90% of the time, I knew that I shouldn't even be doing business with them, right? You gotta really do your research and do your due diligence on people when you're going and gonna do business with someone, right? You really gotta do your due diligence, because you never know, bro. Everyone sounds like they're killing it on social media. Everyone. Even the influencers, they all sound and seem like they're doing great on social media. Why? Because they're posting about it and they're posting their wins. I've already talked about how social media is like more or less, you know, a facade, and you shouldn't believe everything you see on social media. But, right, you'd be surprised on how bad some people are doing. Right, they post like they're doing great, but behind the scenes they don't have money. They post like they're doing great, but behind the scenes, you know, they're beating their girl or some stupid shit, right? They post like they're killing it. They post like they're that guy, like they got the play, but behind the scenes, they're trying to figure out how to screw you over, right? So I have had to learn this. I still have to learn this. I'm still learning and adapting and understanding who to and who not to do business with. But at the end of the day, guys, you guys just got to be careful with the friends you associate yourself with and the people that you do business with, because at the end of the day, you guys know the analogy, right, of a rotten apple or a molded orange or whatever in a bag. If you guys have a bag of apples and one of them is rotten, right, it's rotten, it's slimy, and it's also sitting right next to those apples, if you do not remove that apple from the bag, what's going to happen to the other apples is it's going to spread to the other apples, and the other apples are going to be molded, they're going to turn into it, and they're going to mold it. So it's super, super important, because it's not going to be the other way around. If you have 4 molded apples and there's one good one, the good one's not just going to make the other ones good again. It's just not going to happen, right? So it's super, super, super important that you protect yourself from the devil, you protect yourself from evil, you protect yourself from bad people who have bad intentions, who have a bad life and don't even have the right morals of their own life to do good business with you or to even be a good friend to you, right? So that's the huge moral of the video, right? Super, super important, right? If you realize you're in a bag and one of those apples is rotten and one of those apples is bad and one of those apples is negative, you even see the analogy where you have one apple. I think it's an apple or a plant. I don't know if they did it with an apple or if they did it with a plant. But I think they did it with, I think both of them are valid. But one plant, let's say plants, right? One plant is spoken love, positivity, and, good energy into it every single day for 30 days. And the other apple is given hate, neglect, just all this bad energy. Right, and then at the end of the 30 days, what happens is the good plant, I keep saying apples, the good plant, right, flourishes, right, or the good apple is like brand new, while the bad apple, right, is rotten, is dying, is bad. So guys, energy is the same thing, right? So energy and environment are two very, very important things. Right, learn how to understand energy, learn how to read people's energy with relationships, with friendships, with business, guys, anything. Right, I could read when a girl is not pure. I could read when, a friend does not have the best intentions. I could read when a business relationship may not end well because that person does not have the best intentions for you. Right, I'm not perfect, but I'm learning, and you guys should be learning this as well, right? Read people's energy and see their energy and feel their energy, right? And see through the bullshit, right? The devil is always trying to disguise itself, right? The devil is a master of disguise, right? So you have to get close with God, get close with Jesus, right? And understand energy, how it works, be able to read through relationships, read through friendships, and read through business relationships. Because if you do that, it'll save you probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, years of friendship bullshit, and could save you years of a toxic relationship. So with that being said, I'm going to catch you guys later. Take this shit with a grain of salt. Peace.